I'm a deaf guy, so please laugh loud. I didn't meet any other deaf people until college, and I never really felt like I was part of the deaf world. That's something you need to be born into. But I'm also not part of the hearing world anymore either, so I'm stuck in the middle. You know how deaf people do this, and hearing people do this? I do this. I'm confused. I'd like to mention my mom. She was a humongous leader, and to know what would happen, she would start a new book and she would be like this. I already read this book. Well, guess what? The exact same thing happened to me. I sat down with the new book and I was like this. My mom already read this book. Hi everyone, I'm Tom. I'm a deaf guy, so please laugh loud. I didn't meet any other deaf people until college, and I never really felt like I was part of the deaf world. That's something you need to be born into. But I'm also not part of the hearing world anymore either, so I'm stuck in the middle. You know how deaf people do this, and hearing people do this. I do this. I'm confused.
Hello, CHC, Kathy Buckley here, comedian, oh yeah. CHC Center for Hearing and Communication, oh yeah. What's the number one thing everybody wants in life? Connection. And how do you get connection? Through communication. And how do you get communication? By giving somebody a voice to protect themselves, a voice to express themselves, and a voice to contribute. So, CHC, I hope you guys are having great in this comedy thing tonight. But more importantly, I just want you to know communication has not been great for me. Having to lip read somebody has been a biatch. But I have to say, I do entertain myself. I try to imagine, what are they hiding behind the mask? Are they missing a tooth? Do they have really bad chapped lips? Is their nose disfigured? But hey, you gotta do what you gotta do. You guys have a great time tonight, and thank you for all that you're contributing.
Good evening, everybody. Good to be with you. My name is Dave Price from WNBC, and it is so great to be here tonight and to welcome you to the 35th Annual Comedy Night to benefit the Center for Hearing and Communication, CHC. And it's our second virtual comedy night. So it's great to kick off the CHC comedy event. And the timing, by the way, couldn't have worked out more perfectly. I just got back from a pleasure trip. I took my mother-in-law to the airport. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you all very much. Thank you. All kidding aside, though, I'm just happy to be here. I was sidelined with an injury. I told the doctor that I broke my leg in 2 places, and he told me, stop going to those places. Yes, yes. Cut him off. Cut him off. I said, hey, can I get a second opinion? He said, yeah, you're ugly too. I know. You're too kind. You're too kind. But I'm so glad to be here and to volunteer to help out as I can for another year with this great cause. Now, I don't need to get paid. I don't want to get paid. I got all the money I ever need. If I die by 8 o'clock tonight, thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. But that said, I don't want to make this about my comedy routine. There are other pretty good comedians here as well tonight. So it's going to be a great night. And even though we're apart once again, we are all together. We are all one family, all with one goal. And as always the case, whether it's in person or apart, CHC makes all of its events accessible to people with all degrees of hearing loss and communication needs. As you can see on your screen, tonight we have a sign language interpreter and real-time closed captioning. Now, I've been involved with this remarkable organization for over a quarter of a century. And this is a group that's all about staying connected and communication without limits, and making sure that every voice is heard quite literally. And tonight's event is going to help raise funds to support the awesome programs at CHC, a nonprofit agency that provides services to people of all ages who are hard of hearing and deaf. So throughout the night, remember to donate. And I'm going to remind you, and I can tell you from personal experience, all of the incredible work they do here to change lives. My dad, who has had hearing loss for most of his adult life, has been the beneficiary of CHC. So I know all too well the great work that's done here. And tonight, we're going to be honoring the people at CHC who make it all happen. The clinicians, the audiologists, speech-language pathologists, mental health therapists, and educators who day in and day out truly change lives for people of all ages who are hard of hearing or deaf. So we begin tonight with someone whose life has been changed by CHC.
At the beginning, when you first hear the news that your child is deaf, you feel shattered. You don't know what to expect. CHC says, bond with your baby. Enjoy this time. Don't miss it. They say, we're here for you. We're a team. We have your back. They pull away the cobwebs and tell you that there's hope. More than hope, there's endless possibility. You just can't see it yet, but we can, and we're here to help. Thank you, CHC. Because of your help, we now see a happy and fulfilled future for our daughter.
There are stories like that all over the place of people whose lives have been changed for the better because of CHC. Now, let's get the comedy underway, huh? I want to introduce you to Fumi Abe. Fumi Abe is a comedian writer based in New York City. He's written for NPR's Wait, Wait, Don't Tell Me. He makes regular appearances on BuzzFeed's Did You See This? And currently produces and hosts the comedy podcast Asian, Not Asian.
And comedy. Okay. Thank you guys for logging in, tuning in, wherever you are. It is good to be here. Hello, CHC. Thanks for having me. My name is Fumi. It is a Japanese name, but I actually grew up in the Midwest. I'm from Ohio. And I don't know if you guys been out there. We don't have a lot of minorities. So I remember growing up, I would have very strange conversations with my classmates. Like one time I asked this girl out, and she was like, hey, listen, don't take this personally, but I'm just not that into Asian guys. And I remember sitting there like, but dude, Megan, I am the only Asian guy you know. Like, this feels extremely personal, okay? What are you talking about right now? She just kept going. She's like, I don't know. Asian guys are so short. They're kind of skinny. Their name is always like Fumi. I'm like, that is me. You are describing me. That is a sample size 1. Thank you so much. Coronavirus. Let's talk about it. Very scary, right? It's been very scary for Asian Americans because I remember when it first dropped, it was very scary. Drop like it's a CD album. It was very scary for Asian Americans because every time Trump would say the words Chinese virus, there would be violence against Asian people in this country. And things got so bad in New York that the Attorney General actually created a hotline for Asian people to call and report hate crimes. And I feel this is a great idea, but I can tell there's no money behind this project because I tried calling the other day and I swear to God, it was like, hi, thank you for calling the Asian American Support Hotline. Para Español, oprima dos. And I said, who the hell is this for? Okay, can I report this? This is a hate crime, okay? Like, are you telling me somebody is calling being like, hola, me llamo Angela Chang, and people keep asking me to go back to mi casa. Like, nobody's doing that. So I have gained, I think like many of you, I'm assuming, hey, I've gained some weight in quarantine. I think a lot of us have done that. And recently I was doing a show outside and there was a lady in the front row who was really in shape. And I said, Miss, do you mind, can I ask you, how do you stay in shape? You look great. And she was like, well, I'm Puerto Rican. And I was like, that's not even how weight works, okay? That's not how, I've never seen a fitness instructor who was like, you want abs, you gotta do cardio, crunches, and be Vietnamese. Like, that's not a thing. So I was talking to her, and I was like, what do you mean by that when you say you're Puerto Rican? She says, well, we're always dancing. I dance when I'm in the kitchen, when I'm cooking. I dance when I'm cleaning. I dance when I'm watching TV, and that's how I stay in shape. And I was like, you dance when you're watching TV in quarantine? You're telling me you flip on the TV and it says 500,000 deaths in the U.S. and your first reaction is, wepa! Like, that is so insensitive to me, That's crazy. So we gotta find these Puerto Ricans. I don't know. I'm 31 years old, which is I feel is a weird age because I feel I am young on paper, but I think everyone here knows that after like 25, you know how your body starts falling apart just a little bit, right? Just a little bit to make you think like that used to not happen to me. You know, like I had an apple this morning, I had diarrhea for the rest of the day. Okay, just one apple, so much fiber. You know, I went to the doctor. I was like, "What's going on, doc?" He was like, "You're just a bitch." I was like, "Okay, thank you." I didn't even know that was covered under insurance. That is crazy. But what I think one big thing I learned about getting older, especially in the big cities too, is that the older you get, the sadder your drunk texts get. Okay, do you guys ever think about that? Because I remember when I was in college, all of my drunk texts, they're really fun. They're always like, "Oh, hey Megan, you up?" But last night it was like, "Hey mom, was I a good son?" And it's like, nobody wants to see that. Okay, that guy is horny for family, and that is inappropriate. So I have been seeing a therapist during quarantine. I've been going to a therapist, and that's a big thing for an Asian person to admit, because unfortunately mental health is like a taboo in our community. And I remember trying to go in high school, but it didn't work out. I remember I pulled my mom aside. I said, "Mom, I'm sad all the time. Can I go see somebody?" And she was like, "Have you tried going to Harvard? Have you tried that?" And I was like, I didn't even apply. Like, I'm not smart enough. I didn't apply. And she was like, "Well, that's why I'm sad. Okay, that's why I'm depressed. Okay, you're so dumb." I'm just kidding. She didn't say it to me, okay? She doesn't speak English. It was same energy, different language kind of situation. I'm single, and there's a lot of dating apps, right, that I've been using to connect with people in quarantine. It's hard because you can't see people in person, and you can't really get physical with strangers. It's very hard, right? So, we've been, there's young people, we like to sext a little bit, okay? That's when you send dirty messages on your phone, everybody. It's a good time. I'm explaining what sexting is. So I've been doing that a little bit, and recently this woman had asked me to send her a nude picture of myself. And here's the thing: I'm older now, and I used to do that when I was like younger, but I realized I took a few, and I realized that the way you review a nude in your 30s very different from in your 20s, right? Because when you're in your 20s, you want to make sure your body's looking cute and juicy or whatever, That's such a gross description, but that's really what it is, right? But I'm 30 now, so I'm 31 now, so I was looking at my own nude picture, and my first reaction was like, dude, my apartment is a mess. And I just started cleaning. I started Swiffering for like 45 minutes, so long, just naked. And she texted me back. She texted me back like 45 minutes later. She was like, "Hey," she like followed up like it's a work email, She was like, "Hey, just like wanted to circle back on that penis PDF. We're gonna need that for the all hands meeting. So if you could get that to us by EOD, that would be amazing. Thank you so much, best." And I learned something very important through this transaction. I learned that when women in their 30s, when they ask a guy for a nude picture, they actually don't care what your body looks like. They're actually trying to figure out what kind of apartment you live in, okay? They want to make sure you have your shit together. And that is why I took my nude picture next to my in-unit washing drying machine, okay? I was like, "Baby, what's good? This is a Samsung, okay? Don't look down here. Look up here. It's a Samsung, okay? Hey." I also have a backyard now, which is like a very big deal if you live in New York City. So I took one out there. I was like, "Yo, check out my abs. Also, I grow my own chives. Isn't that nice? Come over for dinner sometime, She texted me right away. She was like, "Okay, oh my gosh, I'm so turned on right now." And I was like, "Okay, well, bring your underwear over and I'll wash it for you." Okay, because once again, I have a washing machine. It is a Samsung. What's good? I don't know. I've been watching a lot of Netflix over quarantine. I'm sure all of us have. I love Netflix because they have this new feature now where you can skip the intro of the show that you're watching. You guys know about that, right? So what it is, if you don't know, is if you're watching a TV show, you can skip the intro. Save yourselves about 90 seconds every time, right? It's an amazing feature. And I love this feature so much. I wish we could do that to people in real life during conversations you no longer want to be a part of, right? Like, can you imagine every time you're talking to your mom, "You're never going to believe what happened. Skip intro. We had the keys the whole time." It's like, "Oh, okay, mother. Thank you so much for that riveting story. You're such a good storyteller." I don't know if you guys are based in New York or a big city, but before the world ended, there were ads all over the subway for this product called Hims. Do you remember Hims? Maybe some of the young people know what I'm talking about. Hims. If you don't know what Hims is, It's basically Viagra for freelance graphic designers. It's like a cool dick pill, right? The message of the ad is like, oh, you got a soft dick? That's freaking Brooklyn, bro. That's so chill. You know, it's very cool. It's a cool dick pill. And when I first saw the ad, I was so confused because I was like, why would they advertise these pills to young people? Because I thought that was a thing that, you know, men above the age of 50 had to deal with. But I Googled it, and I was wrong. It turns out in big cities like New York, men between the ages of 25 to 35, we actually over-index in erectile dysfunction issues. Yes. And when I bring this up to my guy friends, they get really insecure, you know? They're like, well, you know, if I drink too much, I can't get hard. If I do drugs, I can't get hard. But that's not what I'm talking about, okay? According to this research, this is a TED Talk now. Bring down the slide. According to this research, there's a whole new wave of soft dicks in 2021, and it is caused by anxiety, okay? Men are anxious. Young men are anxious, and they cannot get hard. And ladies, okay, you know what I'm talking about, right? Because how many times do you go out, you meet a cute guy, you're making out, he takes off his pants, he can't get hard, you're like, what's wrong? He's like, I miss Obama, whatever, you know? That is every dude in Brooklyn, you know? So it's just what it is. I will do one more, and I will leave. So I have been watching a lot of TV. I've been catching up on this TV show on HBO called Insecure. I don't know if you guys have seen it or heard of it. But if you don't know, that's okay. All you got to understand for the joke is that it's a very popular show on HBO, and one of the things that they're known for is that they cast predominantly black and minority actors. So if you don't watch it, you are the problem, and that's fine, okay? I have your names. I can see your names on the screen, so it's all good. I will be telling your bosses. I was hanging out with my friend the other day, and as we were saying goodbye, she goes, okay, I'll see you later, Fumi. Oh, by the way, I don't know if you've seen this current season of Insecure, but there's a really hot Asian guy on this season. You should check him out. And I was like, who taught you how to say goodbye? Okay? Like, are you serious right now? Like, this is the way you're going to leave social situations? Can you imagine what would happen if she went to a quinceañera? Goodbye, everybody. Be sure to watch Coco. So many Mexicans. Like, that is the rudest way to say goodbye to any group of people, right? But at the time, I was very curious. I'm all about representation, but I didn't know his name. So I take out my phone. I type in the name of the show. I type in Asian guy. I'm looking at the Google image results, and I'm only seeing pictures of very scrawny, weird Asian dudes. And I'm like, what's happening right now? There's no way this is the hot guy she was talking about. So I go back one page. I'm looking at my phone, and I realize I forgot to type in HBO. So I just Googled insecure Asian guy. Just did like a general search on the internet for Asian dudes with no confidence, okay? Mainly getting a lot of middle schoolers, a lot of middle school dances. I was also on there. I was like, who the hell put me on here? Google. That is so rude. Okay, that's my time. Thank you guys so much. Enjoy the rest of the show.
Thanks, Fumi. You know, there are so many aspects of tonight. There's the great comedy, but there's also the important information. So we move on to some of that right now. You know, there are 48 million people in the United States with hearing loss, and CHC is a one-of-a-kind nonprofit. It's been around for over a century and provides comprehensive services, everything someone with a hearing loss needs under one single roof. CHC provides hearing testing, speech and language, educational support, and mental health services. It works with newborn babies, kids, older people, everybody. And during this past year, CHC has also been providing these services virtually. Thousands and thousands of teletherapy hours. And they do all of this regardless of a person's ability to pay. But it's only with support like yours, with support like ours, that makes this possible. These have been particularly tough times for anyone with hearing loss. We're all wearing masks, and that's a good thing. But with masks and social distancing, communication becomes almost impossible for someone who's hard of hearing and deaf. CHC helps with that too.
Hi, I'm Molly Shannon. I'm here today on behalf of CHC to say a few words about face masks. I know all of you have experienced how much harder it is to hear and to be understood when most of your face is completely covered. Now just imagine for a moment the challenges for someone with a hearing loss, who may also rely on facial expressions and lip reading. Mask wearing makes it virtually impossible to communicate, and the stress and anxiety this creates can become overwhelming. The next time you're with someone struggling to hear, please be kind, slow down, speak up, repeat, or even write it out on paper. Because when we practice kindness, Communication has no limits.
Thanks so much, Molly. You know, as the world has changed, CHC has needed to respond as well. And with so many of us really isolated during this past year, being able to communicate is more important than ever. Let's hear from another CHC client.
I mean, my life was filtered through a very loud buzzing sound, tinnitus, and I thought that was natural. I was in the audio room and had hearing aids put in my ears, and they were turned on. I was trying to figure out what was going on. I literally had to figure out what the hell was going on. What was going on was I was hearing life for the first time in my life.
Hearing life, that says about all you need to tonight. CHC is there every step of the way. For young and old, regardless of financial circumstances, they're here to help. But they can only do that with our help. So remember, throughout the night, all you need to do, just click on the link on your screen or text to donate. Everyone text CN2021 to 44-321 or click on the link on your screen to donate. All right, the business out of the way now. Next, we have Blythe Perlman, who you may have seen performing her stand-up comedy at festivals, fundraisers, and colleges throughout the country. She's a riot. Take a listen.
Hey everybody, so happy to be here. What an exciting organization, what a fun night. My name is Lisa. I'm a mommy and a comic here in Rye, New York. We have Westchester representing. Yep, that's where I am now with the kids, quarantined with the kids. I'm originally from Woodstock, New York, Ulster County. We have Ulster County. Yep, peace and love. My first boyfriend left me for a girl named Journey. You can't make that up, okay? But 19 years, I didn't want to leave the city. These little people came out of my vagina. They wanted to swing set and shit, so we moved. We moved to Rye, rhymes with cry. I did a lot of that at the beginning, but I'm happy now. I really am. We're in a good place. We weren't always set on Westchester. My husband was very into New Jersey because we had this broker there, this beautiful blonde with these huge breasts. And my husband was like, you know what, honey, I think we need to look at Short Hills. I was like, honey, her hills are not short and I want to move to Westchester. But I appeased him. We'd spend one weekend going to Westchester looking at open houses. And the next weekend we go to New Jersey and look at open blouses. So it was a win-win for all. But we are here now and I'm realizing how important a home is in the quarantine. I do realize some homes we looked at actually have the master bath with the male and female toilets. Never thought that was necessary. Husband gets up early, goes on with the kids, but that man has been working from home for over a year. Now we're getting ready around the same time. And let me tell you, they say lack of smell is a big sign of COVID. Well, every time I go into the bathroom and I smell my husband taking a crap, let me tell you, I was like, COVID negative, save the test for the elderly. I'd be like, kids, come, daddy's making a duty. Can you smell it? You can smell. Great, go play. It's been a whirlwind. Got to give the teachers props. It's been crazy, asynchronous, hybrid. My son's a 12-year-old. He is in 6th grade. I have a 2-year-old daughter, a second grade daughter who has 8 years in her. And not easy. She's not going to be an accountant anytime soon. The math, the bar models. Yet she knows every TikTok dance. She can twerk with the best of them, but she still thinks 5 + 6 is 9. So it's an issue, a little bit of an issue. It's going swimmingly, but I'm realizing motherhood is why you do all this. You know, I love being a mom. I love being a mom. All the moms out there, it's hard work. My silver lining of my pregnancy was my OBGYN. We all fall in love with our OBGYN. Mine was Dr. Sherry Brasner. Raised the roof, Dr. Brasner, her husband. They have been instrumental in the success of this organization. I'm honored to have been one of her patients. And she's just amazing. I mean, just amazing. And I would look nice for her. I'd do my hair, the bikini wax. My husband would be impressed. He'd be like, you're all 8 months pregnant. You're all groomed. I'm like, no. You were my groom. I am grooming for Sherry. Don't look at me. You've done enough to me. Look at me. Oh, anyway, didn't find out the gender either time. And she's so cool with it. She just lets it slide. She calls it the baby. She never messed up once. But women, we put so much into this, right? We're like, it's a surprise. Let's break this down, right? It's either going to be a boy or a girl. If I shot a rhino out of me, that would surprise me, you know? Just imagine being like, what? I know I drank a bit much on that safari, but I don't remember the rhino and I doing more than spooning each other. Married 19 years, married, right? That's what we spoon. We just spoon the crap out of each other. I think marriage is like a cycle of kitchen cutlery. You know, at the beginning, all you want to do is fork, then you spoon, eventually want to knife each other. And we're on the same game plan, my husband and I. You know, I told him, you know, even making a baby, having a third, I don't know how people are doing it. In the pandemic, the kids are around us all the time, all the time. Let me tell you, that virus is going to be inside me before my husband is, truthfully. I don't know. I told him that if I ever found out that I was pregnant with a third, I'd actually throw myself down the staircase. You know what he said? Honey, you wouldn't have to, because I'd push you. So it's good we're on the same plane with that. He's a cute guy, good guy, but I'm realizing as I'm getting older that I'm really only attracted to his profile rather than the head on. Like I'm really only turned on when he's driving. And I was one of those girls nervous to get married. I wasn't like, oh, the dress and the cake, you know. You know you're nervous about getting married when the only thing you can think of for a first dance song is U2's I Still Haven't Found What I'm Looking For. And he's stoic. He's not one of those touchy-feely guys, like, at all. Like, he's like one step above the guys that flatline on Grey's Anatomy, you know. He's not going to write for Hallmark anytime soon. In fact, my daughter's the only 8-year-old that thinks the movie Frozen is about her father. Just so you can imagine my surprise when I see him with any emotion. It was 2 years ago, first time my son ever went to summer camp, visiting day. They meet up, my husband, my son. My husband's bawling. I got this on video. It was like watching a bear in the wild. I couldn't believe he was crying. You have to understand, I haven't seen my husband cry since we opened a joint bank account. That was the last time. I know. My son doesn't want to go back. He's still very like a mommy's boy. He loves being home. You know, I remember those days with him. I remember when he was 4 and he said to me that his penis is getting bigger because he eats a lot of cookies. So cute. I was in the kitchen that night till 3 a.m. baking for my husband. Just like, one more batch, honey. Oh, one more batch. Oh, man. But he doesn't want to go back. But I have to ask the moms, right? Call me crazy. If somebody told me that I could sleep away from my family for 7 weeks in a room with 6 guys I never met, like, where do I sign up for that, right? Is there a winter session? I'll take that one too. Oh my goodness. He doesn't like it because there's no tackle football. He loves tackle football. We're Jewish. We don't tackle the football. We tackle the LSATs. Just tackle the LSATs. And I should know the sport better. I don't. I see all the guys, the dads, yelling, come on, Deke! Come on, Deke! I'm like, what is that? Is it Derek? Danny? Who is that? We're Harrison Central School District, great school. A little bit more diverse than Rye, where I live. And I love that. I love the diversity. Not like the city, but it's somewhat. He's the only Jew on the team, with the football team, though. Most of the other kids are Italian, and all the families and the dads, they yell out their names and initials. It's like, come on, JT, TJ, MJ, PJ. And I'm like, come on, Joshua Murray. Come on, Joshua Murray. The only initials I'm yelling out are MD. Is there an MD? I think that boy is a splinter. I'm doing the Peloton and the Soul Cycle. I like them both. I really do. I'm not the girl that you're going to see doing 20 miles on her mountain bike, okay? You know, I like a mirror next to me at all times on my bike. I like one hand and the other hand just looking at what kind of work I want to get done. That's me. That's what I like, the non-moving. I don't want to cycle. I don't want to signal anybody. I don't want to look for traffic. I just want to burn some calories and see what kind of work I need done. I love Soul Cycle, and in the burbs, let me tell you, a lot of jewelry these women wear, a lot. Sometimes I don't know if I'm going into a Soul Cycle or a Soul Mitzvah. I'm like, are we going to tap it back, or is somebody reading the Haftorah portion? What's going on here? We'll get back there. We'll get back to the social events. I know we will, because my husband and I, we need like a date night. I can remember the last time we slept in this house alone. July 2019. I'm not kidding. Son was in sleepaway. Daughter was at a sleepover. And it was one of those moments where, like, oh God, we should make love. But he was watching TV. My head was in a book. It was like the last thing we wanted to do, but we knew we should. You know those times when you feel you should do something, but you don't want to, like visiting your in-laws. You know those times? We eventually did it. Let me tell you a second. 8 seconds later, we were high-fiving. Channel 12 Westchester came over. People delivered fish platters. People thought we were sitting Shiva. We just had sex. It was just a big accomplishment in our day. Yes, I was late to the sexual scene. I lost my virginity when I was 25 to the man that put this ring on my finger. Yeah, whenever I say that, it goes from a comedy show to like a funeral for my genitalia. Yeah, Yeah. Are you going to donate to the CHC? Are you going to? Or to that poor woman in Westchester? I don't know. Of course, the CHC. I just tell you, I wanted to save myself. That was the big thing. I just wanted to save myself. And in retrospect, I should have saved the whales and been a whore, is really what I should have done. I was known as that girl in college. You know, I will do everything, but I am not, you can't, I will do stuff with my mouth. You're not getting down here. You're just not getting down here. I went to Cornell. It's known as Big Red. I was known as Big Head. That's basically what it was. And I'll just tell you that, let me tell you, I'll put it this way. The restaurants in New York City are opening faster than my legs did in college. Okay. That's what it was. I'm just close by saying, speaking of open your hearts, open your wallets, donate to this amazing cause. And thank you for joining me tonight in this united language of laughter. Thanks for having me. Good night.
Good stuff. That was great. Thank you, Lisa. And let's remember why we're here. All right? The laughter is great, but we're here to support all the work CHC does. So I want to thank you for not only being here, but I want to thank you for being part of the CHC community and supporting CHC, for helping CHC do the work it does.
Basically, after living with anxiety and a panic disorder my whole life, I realized it was time to try out therapy. And while I was hesitant at first, I realized after just a few sessions with Paul that I should have been doing this a long time ago. It was a breath of fresh air, and I'm not just talking about the breathing exercises, although those helped too. I think about stuff we talk about every day, and just to get through the day is huge. And, before talking to Paul, I couldn't sleep at night and I hated myself, and now I can sleep better. Still hate myself, but we're working on that. I feel like this has been huge for me, and I hope everyone gets into therapy, and this has been great. Thank you.
CHC changes lives in big ways and small ways. And here's one of our CHC kids doing what they do best.
Why can't you give Elsa a balloon? Because you let it go, let it go, let it go.
These kids are going to put the pros out of business. They're amazing. And many of them have been coming to CHC since they were babies. That's what CHC does. They're there for the whole family from the very beginning. So let's make it possible for CHC to help more kids, more adults, more families. Just pick up your phone and click on the text. All right. Now, while you contemplate that, let's have a couple more laughs. Gianmarco Cerisi is a New York-based stand-up comic, actor, writer, but you may know him best as the guy from all those GE commercials. Here he is.
Hello. Hi. I hope you're all doing well. It's very nice to be here. I'm in New York City, and indoor dining has partially reopened here, but a lot of the comedy clubs say they can't operate at 25% capacity, even though I've never seen them do otherwise. But I'm excited to get back to normal. I'm so tired of coronavirus. I am so sick of washing my hands every time I poop. I need a break from it, honestly. I know, I'm sorry. Look, it's been tough. I have roommates, and having roommates during a global pandemic, it's like being in an unfaithful marriage. Like every time he comes home, I'm like, where the hell have you been? I bet you didn't even wear a mask, you dirty tramp. One of my roommates, this is true, one of my roommates moved from China to America last January. That's like boarding the Titanic from the iceberg. It's been tough. I took my first Uber this past week. It's been almost a year. I was rusty because I told my Uber driver I'm a stand-up comedian. And without a moment's thought, he was like, stand-up comedy's only fun if you're like really drunk. And I was like, oh, yeah, no, I feel the same way about talking to my Uber driver. I always knew I was non-essential, but it hurt coming from the government. I think we can all agree that whenever life returns to normal, grocery store cashiers should get to board the plane first. It's like, oh, really? You did 2 tours in Afghanistan? I did 5 weeks. Trader Joe's, you have no idea. good. You guys, I hope you're laughing at home. It's very tough. These shows, online shows, are tough because when a joke doesn't work, I can't tell if it's the Wi-Fi or if you're just a terrible audience. So, if you guys are not laughing at home, I'm going to switch to Spectrum. I swear to God. Oh God, I've been doing everything on my computer. I've been doing stand-up on my computer, doing therapy on my computer. Doing therapy and stand-up on the same device is not helping me unblur the lines. And I don't like Zoom therapy. It's very strange because Zoom therapy is weird because I've never seen inside my therapist's apartment before with her knowing. And she's one of those, she's a Freudian therapist. So she's one of those, every time I ask her a question, she twists it into a question about me. Like I asked her, I was like, when are we going to start meeting in person again? And she was like, why are you under my bed? It's very tough. Yes, some of you will get that eventually. Let it wash over you. I'm not gonna. I like this. I like this format. I like this where I'm talking. I can't even hear some of you. It's because I'm what's known as an extroverted introvert, which basically means like when I'm talking, I'm very extroverted. But if you're talking, I'd rather be alone. It's so this is wonderful. I sometimes I'll talk to the audience, and I stopped doing it because I was doing a show once. I asked this woman in the front row. I was being nice. I said, "What do you do for work?" And she said, "Make more money than you." So I just started guessing. I was like, "Oh, are you a bar mitzvah DJ? Are you a lemonade stand CFO? Are you a mall Santa visiting from Israel? Are you a human scarecrow? Do you write fortune cookies? Do you work at the kazoo factory? Because those all make more money than me." I'm sorry, I'm very loud. Once I did a show with a drag queen and she told me to take it down a notch. I think I became this way because my parents are divorced. My parents got divorced when I was 7 days old. So, like most kids, my first word was "mama," but my next 5 were "told me to tell you." And the custody battle was so ugly, so drawn out, that when I was old enough to talk, the judge ruled I could decide where I wanted to live. So I moved in with the judge. Because it's hard to choose. Because like when your parents get divorced, there's always like the really strict but responsible parent, and then there's the dad. Like my dad, he was a fun time. Like when my dad packed me lunch for school, he would always slip 3 Snickers minis into my pack of menthols. A lot of fun. My dad bought me whatever I wanted to. My dad, he bought me a go-kart. He bought me a pony. He bought me anything as long as I promised it would piss off my mom. When I was 8 years old, my dad asked me what I wanted for Christmas. And I said, "Dad, all I want is a samurai sword." He got me the sword. I played with it once. And then all I wanted was my pony back. I know that's a sad... It's a big mess. My whole family, I once had to make a family tree for school, and honestly, there's been so much divorce, it looked more like a pile of firewood. My mom ended up marrying my dad's divorce lawyer. It was part of the settlement. And I mean, that means this guy, he used to represent my father, now he fills in for him. And if that sounds familiar, it's Hamlet. But I will say, I think, as hard as the divorce was, I think it's the reason I became a performer. Because as much as my parents fought, as ugly as it got, whenever I was cast in the school play or the school musical, my mom and dad would always show up on opening night and sit next to each other in the front row. And my dad would bring this big bouquet of daffodils because he remembered my mom is allergic. My father, he's Italian. And social distancing has been very hard for Italians because we're physically affectionate. A lot of hugging. We kiss each other goodbye. Not everyone likes it. Like I was dating a woman once, not Italian. And I remember the first time she saw my dad and I kiss each other goodbye, she was like, "Ew. Do you kiss your dad in public?" And I was like, yeah, it'd be weird if I only kissed him in private. If I was like, "Hey, Pops, let's get out of here for a proper goodbye." Now, I don't want to lie. I want to be upfront with you guys. My father, he was not born in Italy, but he told me that in the 1930s, my grandpa Luigi, which is his actual name, my grandpa Luigi and my grandma Donkey Kong immigrated here. When people ask where I'm from, I'm like, Nintendo. Oh, someday that joke's going to be racist. You know, someday I'm going to do that accent. Some Italian's going to be like, who the hell do you think you are? And I'll be a smart ass. I'll be like, it's a me, a Mario. And then I'll get canceled. I'll have to go on Twitter, be like, I'm so sorry. Oh, God. I can't wait to get back to normal. My year was going so well in 2020. I actually made my TV debut last year on Law & Order SVU. I thank you. I played Ice-T's waiter. It was a small part, but it's TV. I wanted to do well. So to prepare for the role, I actually became a waiter for 12 years. I even used to have one of those jobs where, like, between taking people's orders, I'd sing musical theater songs, which some people hate, and it's not what Chipotle is known for. But I once had an audition for Game of Thrones, and obviously I didn't get it, or I wouldn't be doing this. But I walked in the room. I was ready to go, and the director said to me, first, we need to see you in your underwear, which is not what I was expecting. So I put my underwear back on. Oh, God. My mom, she told me once, she said, you're an actor. Why don't you act like you're not depressed? And so I said, Mom, you're a yoga teacher. Why don't you screw yourself? No, that's a joke. That's a joke. I'm sure we have some moms here. I love my mom. I call her every time I forget the HBO password. You know, I actually called her before the Game of Thrones finale because the password wasn't working. And she said, oh, yeah, I changed it to my birthday. And I was like, could you spell that for me? And she said, sure. It's Yesterday. And I was like, capital Y? My father, he's in Maryland. He actually wants me to move home and I guess quarantine with him. But again, I could have coronavirus and be asymptomatic. I don't want to accidentally kill my father. I want to do it on purpose. I don't want to go, especially because my dad's with his new girlfriend, and I do like my dad's new girlfriend because we have a lot in common, like being born in 1988. It's just strange. He likes dating younger. I like dating older. So when we go on a double date, it looks like a family dinner. But at the end of the night, the waiter thinks I'm kissing my mom goodbye, and he's like, they must be Italian. That's my time. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you, Gianmarco. Now, back to the business at hand here. You know, every day, CHC clinicians are working their magic. And that's what it really is. It's magic. They help the child who's being bullied for being different. They provide endless hours of speech and language therapy, emotional support to those experiencing the stresses and isolation that often accompany hearing loss. And they provide state-of-the-art hearing aids for any situation. Everything anyone needs, the CHC has, and we thank you for that. Here's Jeff Cohen.
I'm Jeff Cohen, a CHC parent and a longstanding board member. On behalf of the CHC Board of Directors, I'd like to express my thanks to the CHC clinicians and the entire staff for all of their incredible work over the past pandemic year.
Thank you to all the amazing CHC staff and everything you guys do, especially in this new remote world.
With distancing and masks making life so challenging for people with hearing loss, CHC's clinical team has been there to provide care and support, connection, and hope.
I could not have done it without you. I will be forever grateful.
Thank you, CHC.
Thank you, CHC staff, for going the extra mile during the pandemic. You're the best.
That your dedication and incredible skills have enhanced the lives of thousands with hearing loss.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, CHC, for all that you do.
You know, the reality is that it's great to have comedy night, and it's great to have galas, and it's great to have all of the accoutrements which come with celebrating a community. But all we really needed was that video from Jeff and the pictures and stories that you've heard tonight from CHC clients. It's simply amazing what the CHC does, and the people there are incredible. And so that's why we have to support them all. So if you haven't donated yet, just click on the link on your screen to donate. That's all you need to do. And now, we're going to move on and bring back a little more comedy from one of our youngest comedians of the night.
I have 3 jokes I want to tell you. Here's the first one. What kind of tree can you hold in your hand? I don't know. What kind? A palm tree! Here's the second one. How did the dog stop the movie? I don't know how. He pressed pause! Here's the last one. What did one toilet say to the other? I don't know what. You look a little flushed.
I mean, was she adorable or what? Now, here's the amazing thing. She was diagnosed as profoundly deaf at just 4 weeks old. Talk about a tough act to follow. I feel bad for Peet Guercio. He's coming up next. He is a favorite of colleges all over the country. I don't know if that means he's gotten into a bunch of them or what, but he's a favorite of colleges. He's a regular at the Improv and Laugh Factory. So, ladies and gentlemen, Peet Guercio.
Thank you, Dave. It is, it's hard to give a comedian a good introduction. I totally get that because it's always, you've seen him on this TV show. I've never seen that TV show. You've heard him on this podcast. I've never heard of that podcast. Peet Guercio, everybody. So you did the best you could. I really appreciate that. But I really wish that comedians could steal a page from the book of rappers and just do our own introductions. You know, a rapper would have gotten up here, grabbed the mic, no host, no intro, and gone, "What's good? It's your boy Critical. Shout out to Rocksteady Vanguard, EO Dub, Grind Time 7, Base Mentality, Extended Players, Real Talk, Big Up 718, Ground Zero Hype Crew, El Crooked Eye, Philly Swain, Beat House, Fresh Coast, King of the Dot. Let's go." How much better is that than "Give it up for Peet Guercio"? Also, I want to apologize to the interpreter for what I just did. If you broke any fingers or anything, I will pay for any bills that incur from that bit. I just wish that I could just come up here and do my own introduction like a rapper. You know, like I wish I could get up and go, "What's good? It's your boy Peet Guercio. Shout out to my Volvo 240, Kaiser Permanente, Joe's Crab Shack, my humidifier, Big Up Brookstone, Boy Scouts of America crew, my dehumidifier, Big Up Brookstone. Shout out Mathletes, National Honor Society, and Sky Mall. What's up to the big 3, Claritin, Allegra, and Zyrtec. Shout out to Bed Bath and Beyond. What's good to Nick at Night, Dollar Store, Off-Brand Cheese Puffs, my Gmail password, and Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Let's go. But I can't do that. It's always got to be a host. I want to do that. Someday I'm going to have the bravery to do that. I don't know about you. I kind of do know about you. Quarantine has turned my brain to a disgusting soup of dumbness. I am operating at probably 40% brain capacity at the moment, and I'm currently performing to silence into a laptop, so that doesn't feel surreal at all. Everything is upside down and the world is on fire. Isn't it great? But I think I'm getting dumber and dumber because every day I've been playing this game with myself, and I have not won a single time. And that game is called, if I turn on just the hot water, can I finish washing my hands before I burn myself? And so far, my record is 0 and 10,000, and I no longer have human fingerprints. But I have now become a fantastic art thief. I leave no trace. If ever you hear about some art getting thieved, that's Big Pete, baby. That's the name I go by in the art thief world, Big Pete. They'll never find me. It's airtight. I've also been doing a lot of extra stupid things recently. The frequency of this in my life has increased a lot. When I send myself an email and 3 seconds later my phone vibrates, without question, I go, "Oh, what's that? What do you think it is, Pete? That's you from 3 seconds ago." You need to go outside or interact with some other humans right now, because this is really, things are not good for you. This is bad news. I have been feeling so dumb and ordering so many things from Amazon that when a cardboard box arrives to my front door, most of the time I have no idea what I ordered. Every time it's like a surprise party for myself. I open it up, I'm like, what could it be? A fuzzy phone pop socket? I shouldn't have. What's this? A dinosaur onesie? What am I, the best? 30 pounds of Kraft mac and cheese. I'm going to take myself out on a walk around the block so that I can feel, capital F, feelings again. This is great. I do have a couple of tricks for surviving quarantine and entertaining yourself during this hellscape. When you get a spam call on your cell phone, don't hang up on them. See how fast you can get them to hang up on you. Be like, "Oh, what's that? What? Huh? Oh, yeah, I'd love to take a survey. Let me just get on the toilet real quick." They'll hang up, no problem. Oh, hey, tie him up. He's going to get away. Hello? Then they think you're in a ransom situation. They don't want to be any part of that. My favorite one is, "Oh, so you're from AT&T? Well, what are you wearing?" They need to get off the phone because their manager will get very upset if they're involved in that. If you're stuck in a gym membership still from the beginning of quarantine, I have devised a way for you to get out of it without paying any cancellation fees. Go into your gym. Don't go on any of the equipment. Don't work arms, don't work legs, don't work back. Just stand in the middle of the gym perfectly still for as long as you can. And if you stand there for long enough, an employee will come up to you and tap you on the shoulder and say, "Sir, are you okay? What's going on?" That's when you say, "Shh, I'm doing Kegels." And they will let you out of your contract with them that day, no questions asked. It works great. They're like, "Sure, yeah, leave immediately, off the premises." It's great. Here's my favorite thing about that joke is that when I said the word Kegels, a handful of you at home watching this, you did a couple of Kegels. Right when I said it, you were like, "Oh, yeah, I'm supposed to be doing Kegels." And then you did like 3 or 4, and then you thought, that's probably enough. For those of you who didn't do any Kegels, let's all do one together, shall we? 1, 2, 3. That felt good, right? It feels good to do things with other humans again. That was really nice. I will end with this. This is a little bit more personal, but I am not the most confident guy in the world, and I've been trying to train myself to get more and more confident. I've been putting myself through some tests. Before quarantine, I had a thing where I would sneak more and more obvious food past the ticket taker at the movie theater. I got pretty good. I got all the way up to live Dungeness crab. That was going pretty well. Where my confidence is really getting good is at parking meters. I put my credit card in, and it says, "Please wait here for authorization." I just walk away. It'll go through. I have a 630 credit score. We're good. But I am not as confident as the most confident person in the world, and I think that person has got to be the guy in charge of web design at Craigslist. That dude has never second-guessed himself in his entire life. They came to this guy and they were like, "Hey, we are building a brand new website. It's going to change the world. It's going to connect entire cities. We've been trying to find the perfect designer, and we'd love for you to do it. You'll have a team of our top people at your disposal. They can make whatever design you dream up." And the guy was like, "Website, huh? Whatever I want? I got it. I want all text, all the same size and color, I'm done. This guy's a genius, right? And every year, every other website gets better, and this dude gets more confident. They're like, sir, Amazon just came out with a recommendations engine powered by a AI-powered neural network. We got to give our users something cutting edge like that. And the guy's like, give them one search box with no spell check. Yes. They're like, sir, all of our competitors are using mobile sites and smartphone apps for all of their customers. We got to give our users something like that because everybody's using smartphones now. And the guy's like, smart phones. I got it. Make it so it doesn't work on phones. Wait, no. If a user searches for mobile Craigslist, take them to the Craigslist for Mobile, Alabama. Actually, more recently, they've gotten into some trouble because they're like, sir, there is this new website called Nextdoor. They do everything that we do and way more. They have push notifications and fancy graphics. What are we going to do? It could be the end of us. And the guy's like, Nextdoor. When they add a feature, we take one away. From now on Craigslist, when you click on an image to get a larger version of that image, we're going to give you a smaller version of that image. All right, that's all the time for me. Thanks, everybody. I'm Peet Guercio. Thanks for having me.
So we're nearing the end of the evening, and how do you say thank you? How do you say thank you this year to all of you who have donated and contributed and volunteered in this year where it's been so easy to kind of hide at home and focus inward? You have extended your hands to others, and you haven't let go of that grip. So I just want to let you know how important that is to CHC. And here's just one more way to say thank you.
Thank you. Wow. You too. No. I'm saying thank you, not of you. Oh, my bad. Be careful what you sign because there are 3 seminars in sign marriage that can misleading to what people think. For example, thank you and be careful.
As CHC says, communication has no limits. On behalf of everyone here, I want to thank you so much for your kindness tonight, so much for coming out, so much for supporting this incredible place. Thank you to the entire CHC staff for being there for everyone with a hearing loss, young and old alike. And thank you for being here tonight and for supporting CHC. We couldn't do this without your help. And together, we are making a difference.